Hello guys, I'm back, and let's start off with after watching pretty much a great, fantastic movie of Iron Man 3, but being the reveal of the Mandarin himself was disappointing as hell. Well, Thor: The Dark World follows suit. Well, let's find out. Well, Thor: The Dark World, directed by Alan Taylor, starring Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Tom Hiddleston, and Anthony Hopkins, and also Idris Elba as Heimdall. And yeah, it's not even featured there, but hey, at least I can give that a shot. And let me grab my notebook here so I can get to tell you guys my reasons, because this is where I write everything here. Because that way I can at least improvise on what I have to say. I don't write anything, I just write something small right here just to give it a shot. Like as you can see. Yeah, my handwriting is real crappy, so yeah. Anyways, let's start off first with the story. The story itself is Malekith and his dark elves are invading somewhere around the world, fighting against Odin's army, and we get to see that he investigates and he sees the source called the Aether, and he wants the Aether for himself. But just in time, Odin completely takes it and makes it disappear somewhere between the galaxy with some sort of portal, and then with that, the Dark Elves lose hope of taking over the world. Well, not hope, at least trying to take down whatever gets in their path, and to become invincible with the Aether. The story itself is actually cool, but then later on in the movie, we get to see Thor now becoming popular for what he has actually done and the events of New York in the Avengers. And we get to see that he's suffering through a little bit of missing Jane and everybody else around there. And with that, it's absolutely cool. But the story itself, we get to see Loki now in prison due to his actions in the Avengers movie. And yeah, we keep them locked in, and yeah, Odin loses trust in his own son, and everything just completely goes awry until Thor realizes that Jane, who was investigating some sort of place that some stuff disappears and floats, and with that she goes there and investigates herself. She gets inside this portal and then finds this red material, which is the Aether. She touches it and gets infected by the Aether and gets the Infinity Stone inside of her herself. And then with that, Thor couldn't find her, so Heimdall teleports him all the way back to Earth after pretty much being gone for like 3 to 4 hours, and by Kat Dennings' character. Well, with that, we get to see what actually happens, and after Thor and everybody in the family investigates gets to meet Jane, we get to see that Jane not only is not welcome in Asgard, but we get to see that she's also infected with the Aether. And then with that, we need to know, they have to actually find a cure to see if they actually find her out. But until things completely go awry, that's when Malekith steps in. And yeah, the story itself is actually cool and simple. Malekith wants the power of the Aether. He wants to in order to rule. It sounds a bit generic, but hey, at least it wasn't generic for me, in my opinion. But hey, that's actually cool. +1 on that. For Chris Hemsworth being the portraying Thor is absolutely fantastic. He's absolutely, come on, man, I can't say any more. Chris Hemsworth is Thor, plays great as Thor, and there's no way that nobody can replace him at all. And him, after the events of Avengers, he's more of a hero, a light-hearted, kind hero who loves his people, takes care of his people, and pretty much cares about his brother despite his actions. To me, he does a fantastic job. And that gets a plus. As for Loki, I like his role, but I'm a little divided on one thing. He was a bit wasted on this movie. Not only is he locked inside in a cave and not locked inside due to his actions, but I would love to see a little bit of Loki do more stuff in the very beginning of the very part of the movie. Him trying to at least escape, but managed not to. But him going through the death of the mother Frigga, Thor's mother, and also Loki's adoptive mother. He goes through a lot, and with that, he joins Thor inside to take down Malekith and whatever he's actually done. To me, he does a fantastic job. But to me, I'm a little divided that he does get into action in the very end. And that's about it. As for Malekith, the villain, and Algrim / Curse, whatever his name is, his lackey, they are dull as wood. Here's the thing. I like, what's the name of the actor's name? Sorry, guys, I don't want to lie. I don't want to give you guys Christopher Eccleston. He does a fantastic job in other movies, especially Doctor Who. I think he's in Doctor Who. Here as the villain, disappointing. Very disappointing. Completely dull, and same thing with the other villain, as in Adewale Baje. I think that I pronounced his name as Curse slash Algrim. Was completely also wood as hell. But hey, at least he managed to kick Thor's ass. Like, man, badly. But Malekith was, to me, a disappointing villain, and I kind of didn't actually like him, so I'm going to have to give that a minus. Supporting cast, as for Fandral, Volstagg, Frigga, Odin, Hogun, and Sif. They're absolutely fantastic. I actually like them, even though Hogun takes a back seat while he's living a home at another universe. And Sif, her pretty much, I can figure out that she's actually kind of jealous that Thor is actually going out with Jane. I would have loved to see more scenes of her. This will not get a negative, but I would love to see more scenes of her, like at least telling Thor, do you actually care about Jane? At least so I can get to see, I know I don't want to make it a soap opera, but at least I want to get to see if she actually does have feelings for Thor. But it does show in the movie, and you get to see that scene where Sif is actually looking at Jane all weird, like, oh, that's her. Whatever. But hey, at least the supporting cast is actually cool. And same thing with Heimdall. He does a fantastic job. Here, he's not just a gatekeeper. Right here, we get to see him more in action, him fighting against people, and also fighting against the Dark Elves. And he does actually a fantastic job. And yeah, the supporting cast gets a plus on that. Jane Foster. I'll say this right now. Natalie Portman does a fantastic job as Jane Foster, so that gets a plus. The love story between Thor and Jane. I'm divided on that one. As even though I love the love story as for Thor and Jane, but for Padme and Anakin, not a fan. At least that one was worse than this one. But I'm completely divided on this one. And yeah, that's all much I can say. As for the action is actually a lot more better than the first film, and that's what I didn't like about the first film. I wished I had more action with Thor using his hammer more often, and we do get to see that, even though it was a bit cut short, but at least the action managed to make it a lot better, especially the climactic battle against the very wood Malekith, which was cool. The CGI of the Dark World, and that gets a plus, so with that, it goes with it. CGI. I absolutely loved how the way Asgard looks like. We get to see more of the lore of Asgard, and I would love to live there. And yeah, it sucks that it doesn't exist, but hey, at least the Dark World itself, wherever Malekith lives at, looks completely scary as hell, and I don't even want to go and live there. And it is a bleak place to live at, and yeah, I gotta say. And then also for the other characters that look with the CGI, especially Curse looks cool, but even though he's a complete wood dude, even though he managed to kick Thor's ass, but with the help of Loki, it was absolutely cool. But hey, at least that gets a plus on that one. Is it worth seeing? Yes, and it's definitely worth owning it. If you're a huge Thor fan, it's a must own. But to me, here's my final verdict. I'm gonna have to give this movie an 8 out of 10. Despite, well, actually, I'm gonna have to bump that down. A 7 out of 10. To me, we had a wood villain. He was he's not terrible. He's just completely wood. His motivation is completely dull. At least Loki's motivation is a lot more clear and much better. The love story between Thor and Jane feels a little bit forced, but hey, at least we get to see that Thor actually loves her. But at least we get to see much better love scenes with that, but not too much love scenes. What am I even saying? But anyways, and not only that, too, I just would have wished to see Loki do more stuff in this movie, even though he was in prison. But then later on in the half, we do manage to get more scenes of him. And then with that, it gets kind of a 7 out of 10. So that's about it. Well, anyways, guys, that ends it. This movie does suffer a little bit of sequelitis, and that's about it. And without a doubt, that ends my review. So next time when we come back, we're going to be looking at Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and ho, yes, Avengers 2.5, baby. Well, not 2.5. I'm an idiot. 1.5. Anyways, guys, I'm done. See you guys later on the next Nerd of the 90s. Bye-bye.